Hey guys, I want to talk about something that I do right much whenever I can, whenever I see a need, that kind of situation, and that's just giving, whether it be your time, your money, or your knowledge, or something like that. Just be a giver. I try to encourage all the young people to put other folks first, and what I want to do right now is tell you what happens. Sometimes one of the situations just came up when I actually did put somebody first. Last Wednesday, my neighbor came by, and he had been looking at a wood stove. He wanted one of them big outside stoves with the boiler on it to heat his house instead of having a wood stove inside. And he found one down outside of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right at 2 hours away from here. And he came up and asked me if I would ride with him down there to pick it up, take it apart, disassemble it, go up under the house, get the heat exchanger out, pull all the water line and stuff out like that, and load it up on the truck. And at the time, I was busy. I really was, still trying to finish up from the hurricane and stuff. But he asked me, and I knew he really needed the help, and he said, but one thing, he said, I got to pay you. I said, you don't have to pay me for nothing. I said, you know, I never asked you to pay me for anything. He said, yeah, but you're going to take the whole day. He said, I got to pay you. I said, okay, $5. He said, when you want to go? I said, well, how about early Friday morning? We'll go down there Friday morning, and we can get this thing done, and we can get back in time right after lunch, maybe. The grass will be dried off, and I'll get back to cutting my grass because it's getting behind on the grass. So we ride all the way down there, and it starts raining while we're down there. Went through, you know, trouble getting the heat exchanger out. Ended up not getting the one up under the house, and went up in the shop that was right next to it, where they had another one up in the top they're going to heat the shop with. And climbed the ladder up there and disconnected that one, got the heat exchanger out, got everything disconnected, took the tractor down and loaded the stove up in the back of his truck. And while we were getting the exchanger out of the roof down there, right on the floor there were 4 chainsaws sitting there. 4 of these right here. This is a 460. There was a couple of 450, I think 359, 355, something like that. And if y'all remember back to several months back when I was cutting wood, this was the little thing I was cutting with. That was my 18-inch Poland Pro Wild Thing. I call that my Kyle Busch saw for you NASCAR fans, the Wild Thing. And I had a problem with that. What happened was somehow or other I broke the drive shaft on it. And I don't know how I did it, either talent, lucky, or stupidity, or maybe a combination of everything, but I broke it. And so the guy at the repair shop told me, he said it cost more to fix it than what you got in it. So I needed a saw, and I've been looking for a while. And while I'm up the ladder, I hear my neighbor up there talking. He said, you know, how much you want for one of them saws right there? See if the old guy be willing to sell the saws. Seeing as how they were starting to sell off some of the other equipment where another old fella had died. He said, I reckon it ought to be worth $100. And I didn't pay him no attention. I come off the ladder. He said, there's 4 right there. He said, get which one you want. So being as how I was already looking for a saw, I knew what I wanted. I wanted a 460 with a 24-inch bar, but it was like $450, depending on where you bought it from. And that just wasn't in the budget. And when he told me get which one you want, I grabbed this one real quick, stepped outside, about 2 pulls on the rope, she cranked up, and so that's how I ended up with this saw right here. It's a $450 saw, and all that cost me was putting somebody else first and taking the time to go do something to help them out, as opposed to being selfish and saying, no, I got my own problems, I got stuff to deal with, I'm going to get mine done, and then we'll worry about yours. I'll worry about yours. But stuff like that happens a lot. As it turns out, the lady locally that had brought me the cucumber seed a while back, anybody who was looking at those English cucumbers, by the way, she told me what they were. They were green ice cucumbers. That was the name of them. But they called right after the hurricane came through to let me know that they had about 12, 15 trees out there that need to be cut up and hauled away and make some nice good firewood. Had plenty of hickory, red and white oak. And I told her I didn't have a saw. So I needed to find me a saw, and as soon as I could get something done, I'd be over there. and it wasn't but I think 48 hours before my neighbor came by, and he was saying, let's go down there and get that stove. So I got a lot of wood lined up to cut. I got a monster of a saw right here to cut it with. This is a 60cc right here. This thing will tear a tree all to pieces. And while I'm talking about giving stuff away, there's another situation going on up in the Northeast. They had all that flooding and stuff. Down here we just had the wind. Wind is something, once it's over with, it's gone. Rain, flooding, it can stop raining and the water's still there. And a lot of people are suffering up there. And there's a group, East Coast Prepper, Men Brown, and Low Buck, some of them guys organizing, trying to collect donations to help the people up there, going through a stormrelief2011.org, and it's you click on the website, go to it, or look at some of Men Brown's videos. He put out some good videos on it, and so did VT Hillbilly up there. And I think he's a Vermont fella too, showing the damage that they had. But take some time to go over to the Storm Relief 2011 and just click on the PayPal button and make a little donation down there. You don't have to put a whole lot, $5, $10, $20, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you can spare, and try to do something to help somebody else out. You'll feel a whole lot better. I clicked on the PayPal button myself, made a donation. Here's my receipt. So you can take a few minutes, send a little bit of money to help somebody else out. And there's a lot of people would tell you, I can't spare $10. Times are tough and that kind of deal. The only thing I would say to that is, if you're living your life and you're to the point where taking $10 out of your pocket and giving it to a complete stranger is going to break you, you need to go ahead and send them $100 and start doing things totally different, because what you're doing ain't working. But I'm probably going to get some thumbs down for that comment, but that's just the way I feel. All of us are blessed with opportunities to make a difference in the life of someone else, and it doesn't take a whole lot sometimes. Just a little bit of effort will go a long way. But anyway, just want to share that with y'all. Probably ran a little bit longer than what I wanted to, but sometimes this is what happens when you stop, put somebody else first, and you end up with something like this, and all it cost me was just a little bit of time and effort down there. Y'all have a good one.